Okay, everyone, thank you for joining me. Alright, we got to get this thing. Pardon me just a second. Whew. Alright, sorry about that. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. It was an interesting time. The golf courses are really coming along, especially Shallow Creek. Yes, it looks like it has some bare spots in it. It's still, like I said in the video, May-June time frame for opening. And if that be the case, then it should be nice and thick and lush on the fairways. Let's see. We got a bunch of questions that came up. Mike C says, I want to see a chart of how many people there are per grocery store shelf foot. Don't have any kind of grocery store information. Sorry, it was hard enough getting the golf course information. One of the things to understand too is the peaks shown on that, the high peaks, are higher than actual, because I took the date that the village was established and I assumed all the houses at that. As we know, when you look at Dabney, there's a lot of houses unsold there, but it was established last year. So, the numbers vary a little bit, but I think it makes the point. The numbers have been pretty consistent. They have tried to maintain the homes per hole ratio at the same. Yes, it goes up and it goes down when we get past, or when we get into next year. The numbers, with the addition of 4 executive courses, or no, is it 3? Well, there's 2 executive courses and a championship course next year, and then 2 more after that for executive courses and another championship course. So the numbers are going to come down. Yes, the number of houses are going to go up, but they're still doing a lot of building of golf courses. Let's see. That said, the area around Buena Vista and 466A has vast choices of grocery stores, rec centers, and it's a wonderful part of the villages. I agree, that's kind of where I live. Let's see, Fran wants to know the opening date of the Olympia Rec Center. Not this year. It's going to be sometime next year. It'll open at the same time so the new stores open up and restaurants open up in Eastport. It'll all happen at once. Let's see. Mike C says the drone shots are pure gold. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Fran wants to know, might you know if some of the multimodal trails in the Eastport area are be designated for walker and bikers only? That would be consistent with what we've seen throughout the community south of 466A, or excuse me, south of 44, and in the Turnpike area. Ever since they started with the village of Finney, that's where they started coming out with these pedestrian and bicycle walking paths, and then the golf carts were in the road. Let's see. It's not every day you get to watch YouTube live, and there will be a person that created it. Oh, thanks, Mike. Let's see. Still need to know what is going in off Rolling Acres. It's a big project. I think it's apartments, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't had a lot of time to research it. I'm still looking at that, Roxy. So, there's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions about the condition of the golf courses. Yeah, the courses between the sixes, between 466A and 466, some of them are in some bad shape. After the interview, we were talking to Mitch about the stuff that's the greens, and really it's like trying to grow a putting green on top of peat moss. It's just not going to happen very well. That's why these courses are due for renovation. And when you're talking 2, 3, 4 inches of organic material that's built up over the last 15 or 20 years, that's pretty hard on the course. I did play mangrove yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I actually had the best round of my life on that course. Actually, on any of the courses, the executive courses, that was my best round. I shot, I think, a 30. Yeah, 30, which was 3 over par. I'm not a good golfer. But, you know, excuse me. Hang on. But the courses, the greens on mangrove, some of them were looking pretty rough already, which is a shame. A couple of weeks, wow. My apologies. A couple of weeks ago, I played, what was it? Sweet Gum. Course was absolutely gorgeous, but it just went through a major renovation, just like some of the other ones did. Let's see. Rolling Acre backs up horribly. More apartments. Yeah, I agree. You know, Rolling Acres needs to be widened, in my opinion. I mean, it's obvious there's a higher traffic volume than I think it was ever anticipated. Who's going to pay for that? That's in Lake County, so I really can't. I really don't have any way to comment on that other than, you know, I need to talk to the Lake County folks. 44. Let's see. TLR says, any additional information on the project you mentioned a couple of weeks ago going in at 44 and Morse by Villages Grown? No. I have yet to find a document or a public listing for what's going in there. Several sources have confirmed what I think, or what's going in there, and I believe it's solid. But until we find something on a website, a public listing, a public filing, or something like that, it would be premature to say. Let's see. Ian B says, I don't see the golf point system document on your website. I haven't. Sorry. After I got done editing, I went to bed. I didn't update my website. I apologize. I will get that this afternoon after the live broadcast. Let's see. Maiko says, Don, this morning I drove from Okahumpka 470 out to Magnolia Plaza and noticed several things. New Temp Central Florida Parkway paved up to 470 and looks close. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, you're talking about the temporary road that's going to connect 470 to Central Parkway. Yep, they're still making progress on it. I don't know when they're going to intend to open it. You know, that's in Lake County. It's a little harder for me to find information in Lake County. Let's see. Naperville Real Estate Live says, do you know the lots sold in Moultrie Creek when they get put up for sale? Great work, Don. Do you expect lots in Water's Edge to sell well? So, generally the lots get put up, from what I understand, on Friday afternoon or Friday morning. New lots are listed. The Water's Edge, absolutely. I definitely expect them to sell well. You know, there's going to be 2 new golf courses that border Water's Edge. So yeah, the whole area is going to just be a madhouse. We're trying to get a lot. Mark wants to know, do you have any guess on when the new Home Depot might be hiring or opening up? My understanding is they will start hiring next month, and shortly thereafter they'll open. Another road being cut through east of there looked like earth being moved in the Medical Village area. Okay, they're actually worked that Medical Village area that you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. That is the Meadowview Golf Course that they have started work on. Like I said in the video, up at the north end of Meadowview by the bridge, they're moving a lot of dirt. They're moving a lot of dirt and digging some of the ponds and lakes that are going to be part of the golf course. Do you think they will have stadium seating at the music venue in Eastport like they do in Brownwood? No. The closest you'll have is on Sunset Island. What they will have, if you go back and you look at the village's website and look at the map and zoom in, you'll see that they're along the main road going in, Bar Boulevard, going up to the entertainment venue. There's lots of nose-in parking. That's all golf cart parking, no car parking. And if you look at the road on the waterfront, there is zero parking. Unlike at, for example, Lake Sumter Landing, there's parking on both sides of the road. There's no parking whatsoever. They're making it so, as I understand, so that they can easily shut down the street when it comes time for the evening entertainment to all traffic. You'll still be able to drive through it during the day, but they'll be able to block traffic off quickly and easily. And as I said, when you look, going from basically the hotel all the way up around to the boat docks for the dragon boats, that whole area is really going to be available for, let's cut to the chase, partying. When they want to do things in the square, so they've got the road, they've got the area on the waterfront. It's going to be a huge area with tremendous possibilities. Let's see. Marsh Bend being widened, or is that just drainage work being done on the east side? Okay, Mike, so Marsh Bend Trail was widened down to McNeil Drive, and what's happening now is from McNeil south to where old 470 is and the new fire station, that will remain 2-lane. The analysis of the work or of the traffic did not point to a need for making that 4 lanes. There's no other entrances or exits, so it's going to be 2 lanes. They're improving the shoulders, they're improving the drainage. Land Girl GB, thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate it. It definitely helps offset the cost of doing all this. Let's see. Naperville Real Estate Life says, if we need specialized medical care when we move to the villages, where would you go? We live in Chicago with cutting-edge medical facilities. So Chicago's what? 10 million people? And we have 150,000 people. That being said, Shands Hospital is probably one of the best in the country. My son was a patient there twice when he had a brain tumor when he was 10 years old, and also when he had his last brain tumor, and it just didn't, he didn't make it. He passed away 2 years ago because of it. But Shands Hospital is phenomenal. Lots of good stuff up there. There are lots of specialty doctors in the villages area. Lot specializing in the geriatrics, cancer, and things like that. That have offices here. So it's not a wasteland of medical care, but it is it's not a heavily populated area. 150,000 people really isn't that much when you compare it to Orlando, Gainesville, Tampa, those places. Let's see. Do you know what this is from Mark P. Do you know what they are doing side of Warm Springs from Marsh Bend towards 301? Do you know what they are doing on the side of Oh, okay. Towards 301. No. Off the top of my head, I don't know, unfortunately. There's so much going on. I know that 301 is planned. I think we're looking at starting sometime either late summer, early fall on the widening of 301 to 4 lanes from the turnpike all the way down to County Road 470. So that's going to be a big job, and I think it's going to take 2 or 3 years. And just to add to the confusion and headache, next year they start on widening of I-75. They're going to add an additional lane in each direction. And if that wasn't enough, a year after that, they're supposed to start widening the turnpike through Sumter County from 4 lanes to 8 lanes, 4 lanes in each direction. So lots of construction going to be happening here in Sumter County over the next couple of years. I got a funny feeling traffic's going to be a nightmare. It really is. Let's see. What else do we got here? Mark P. said, I thought it was a sidewalk. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure exactly what it is. It could be any number of things. But I know that part of the plan for US 301, at least on the drawings I saw the last time, was to have a multimodal path, a 12-foot multimodal path going down both sides. I don't know how that's going to impact the villages and the residents in that area, and as far as connectivity into and out of the villages, that's yet to be seen. Again, the plans aren't finalized yet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I know that they plan on putting a traffic circle in, at the north end of Marsh Bend Trail. The rest of it is either going to be stoplights or stop signs. Okay, so we don't have any, let's see. Let's see. Rich B. Oh, sorry, my throat is really dry. Rich B says, any idea when they're going to start building in Shady Brook? They already are. I have one house that I have under contract for taking pictures of that is in Shady Brook, and so they're starting to build there. It's, they've still got a lot going on in Moultrie Creek, but as one ramps down, the other one ramps back up. All right, so Morgan Langford says, Dawn, do you know what is going in at Warm Springs and Bigham Trail? How about golf cart crossing of Marsh Bend, west of Marsh Bend? Jeepers. That's, I believe it's some sort of medical building is right there at Bingham Trail, whatever the heck it is. 505, I think that's the road. But that's not a village's project. So, I'm not too well versed on what's going in there. I'll look into it, see what I can come up with. And how about a golf cart crossing west of Marsh Bend? Nope. Not going to happen. The only place it might possibly could occur would be right there by Dunkin' Donuts. But other than that, what's built is built, and they're not going to add any more. Let's see. Bigham. Yeah, it's Bigham. Yeah. Bigham Trail. Thank you, Morgan. John and Jane says, will they put a stoplight at 301 in Warm Springs in your opinion? The last drawings I saw showed yes, a traffic light there. The last update that I got. So back to the crossing. What's built is built. The developer generally doesn't go back to add things after the master plan is done. Mike C says, is there any plans for golf cart crossing at 466 towards target? No. Okay. Towards crossing 466 towards the target that's getting built. Nope. No plans for it. Put yourself in the developer's place. They are leasing commercial real estate to, to Winn-Dixie, a bunch of restaurants. Those establishments have paid a premium for their rent for golf cart accessibility, and that's an important thing. So if somebody were to put a golf cart path to cross 466A, it certainly won't be the developer. He'd be shooting himself in the foot, because then think about what's over there. There's a Publix, there's an Aldi, there's a liquor store over there that'll take away from Winn-Dixie's liquor store. They would be robbing from their merchants, and if I was one of their merchants, I would be upset about it. So the other part of that equation is that path goes both directions. Okay, it would allow people that aren't villages residents to drive their golf carts into the villages. So it's been discussed many times, this issue, but just not going to happen. All right, so since we're on that topic of that area, I got a question here from Curb Appeal. Let's see. Is the HCA hospital that was talked about several years ago? Let's see. We're hoping that it still goes through because my brother-in-law wants to transfer to it in a couple of years. So again, this is from Curb Appeal. So HCA is looking at building a hospital behind the emergency department, or the standalone emergency room on 466A, right next to the new Mr. Car Wash that's being built. It's still, as far as I know, happening. I did see there's a plot of land between where the hospital is going and which golf course is that? Sandhill. Between golf course and Sandhill, 130 unit adult living community, assisted living, I believe it is. So that just went through Wildwood City Council last week, I believe it was. So that's a new project that's planned. So the folks that live right there on that corner, they're going to have just a wonderful view. Unfortunately, unless you own the land, you don't get to control what happens to it. Let's see. Dave says, I almost never see any speed enforcement on Buena Vista or Morse. Does the developer tell the sheriff to be kind? To drive and... Does the developer tell the sheriff to be kind and don't issue any tickets? No. The developer really doesn't tell the county or the sheriff what to do. There's just a limited number of resources, between fire and the sheriff's department. Those are the two biggest parts of our county budget. They represent a tremendous amount of money that's spent every year. Right now, we have a lot of sheriff's deputies, but they're kept busy. Unfortunately, any road you go on, there's going to be speeders. It's annoying to me, but I am habitual at doing the speed limit just because I can't afford to get stopped and get a ticket. If I get a ticket, I'm sure it'll be on the police blotter, and I will get roasted in social media as a county commissioner. So I definitely don't speed or run stoplights or stop signs or anything like that. I mean, I live in a courtyard villa. I live on one of the little dead-end legs. There is a stop sign. The only person that affects is me. And every time I pull out, I stop at that stop sign. Of course, I've got a neighbor who I'm sure well, we all have one of those neighbors, you know, and this guy, if he doesn't have hemorrhoids, well, he's a perfect, never mind, you know where I'm going. You know, so I have to be very judicious about doing that. Let's see. JSK Garrett says, instead, interested in the Patio Villa Emerald. Are those only built as spec homes or able to select any of the finishes? I would prefer the LVP over the rolled vinyl. So patio villas are strictly spec homes. The only exception to that is they do some custom builds for the same homes over in Middleton in the family section. But other than that, no, you're going to have to do it aftermarket. Let's see. Roxy said, urgent care and fire station on Warm Springs. Yes, they're building a fire station on Warm Springs. They're building 46. Urgent care, I don't remember where that is. Okay. Let's see. Along with Mike C's question, the Villages actually provides access to non-Villages property in the historic section via the wall entry-exit on the north side. I don't want to get into that one. I mean, I don't believe that they are providing it. It's just the nature that it exists, and there's not a lot you can do about it. Yeah. Mike C says, a lot of people watching for speeders on Megason right by Warm Springs. Good. Yeah. I went down Megason yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Debbie and I did to go look at some model homes. As I said in the previous video, we're looking at buying a second home. And there were several people that were antsy that I was doing the speed limit. Not my problem. But you know, speed enforcement is definitely a necessity. You know, I've seen a lot of complaints about, well, the contractors are speeding, and you know, it's not just the contractors. I don't know of many contractors that are driving Corvettes and Mercedes to work, and yet that's what I see a lot of times. Anyway. Russ Kuhn says the developer has removed nested sliding doors from their spec homes previously on Winslow's. Have you heard of this Have you heard if this elimination relates to the tilt wall change or warranty issues? Tilt wall. It's all about the tilt wall. We just looked at a Winslow, actually a Winslow C, and that's actually the home we really like. And yeah, you just can't put it in because of, you know, the other way it was done with modifications of the block wall, but it's not possible with the tilt wall. It's just, you know, unfortunate, because I liked the pocket sliding doors where they completely went away. My next door neighbor, they have a Wyndham, which is the same as a Winslow, just a little bit older, 10 years older. New name, you know how it is. And they have those pocket doors, and I absolutely love them. Let's see. Maureen says, do you know what will go onto the corner between Middleton and Moultrie Creek? No, I cannot find anything. I know what you're talking about. There's a pond there. It's kind of an L-shaped lot. Some of the which hole is that? Number 7. I think it's hole number 6 or 7. 6 wraps around there, and yeah, I haven't found anything yet. So as soon as I do, obviously I'll let everybody know. Wow. Let's see. What time are we doing? Oh, we still got a little bit of time left. Let's see. Kent Bowen says, another spot on video. Thank you for the accurate information. A couple of questions. Can you speak on the development west of Marsh Bend Trail, just south of Monarch Grove entrance? So that's some apartments. And I would call those sardine apartments because they are going to be packed in there. There's another set of homes like that over, where is it at? 466A and Powell Road. It's diagonal of Walgreens. I had to remember the drugstore name. Walgreens, behind where the there's a hotel going back there, and then just beyond that, going north, there's some really packed in homes, or I guess they're apartments or rental units, just unbelievably close together. Let's see. Also, who operates the championship golf courses? Is it just one company that operates a bunch of them, or are there a number of companies that operate these for-profit courses? All of the championship courses are owned by the developer. Now, if you go into SunBiz, which is the state's business registration area, it'll tell you who owns what companies and who the principals are. You will find that the Villages literally owns probably close to 200 different companies that do different tasks. And that's not uncommon for a business entity like the developer, who has many interests that he's trying to deal with. By dividing up your businesses, it's easier to track your profits and losses. Pardon me, I got a dog. I got two dogs that are sound asleep, and they're dreaming and barking in their sleep. Golden retrievers, you gotta love them. But anyway, so all of the country clubs are owned by the developer through one company or another, and they are for profit. They are not amenities. Contrary to what people believe, they are not amenities. Just like grocery stores and restaurants and those things are not amenities. Those are commercial entities. All right. Executive course maintenance. Yeah, definitely. There's a long way to go. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is from, I left off the name, but they're from Lake Denham. It says, hi Don, wondering if you have any ideas on when the widening of 470 will take place. I know you mentioned it in a few videos. I can't seem to find it on any website. I'm guessing it's likely a long ways off, but maybe you have a better idea of how and when these things get scheduled. Maybe a website to keep an eye on for county road construction. So, again, that's the widening of 470. I know that the developer has a county road agreement with Lake County, just like they have with Sumter County. Obviously, the temporary road that's being built for the area where the hospital eventually will go, whenever they finalize the deal with whoever it's going to be, they put a temporary road there to route Central Parkway back down to 470. That's, again, a temporary road, but they want to get it done. They need to get it done for a lot of reasons, for just completing that particular section of road, Central Parkway, and all that it goes to. I haven't seen anything either at the Metropolitan Planning Organization. That is the place I would check first, is the Lake-Sumter MPO. I don't remember the exact website, but just look up Lake Sumter MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization. They would have information on a project like that starting up. But I think it's going to definitely be sooner than later. Let's see, we talked about HCA Hospital. HCA Hospital, I just talked about that one again. Wow. Okay. No more questions, folks? Come on. You got to have some. We got 100 people out there. Let's see. Yeah, somebody commented the other day about a sports bar directly across from the entrance of the school. Yeah, not very classy either. I would agree. Again, somebody made a comment that parents bring their kids to breweries. This is from Jessica Poli Lazaro, 6362. Parents bring their kids to breweries that have dedicated spaces for the kids to run around and play. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a restaurant that will have a space to sit outside and enjoy live music and entertainment for all ages. It's not some hole-in-the-wall bar where people will go to get wasted. I agree. But that wasn't the point of my comment. The comment was it just delivers the wrong message. When Fred made those statements, I was shocked. First thing you see when you look out the door is the high school, and calling it a bar. Yes, it has a bar. Comparing it to a brewery, breweries are in the business of selling beer. Okay, they want to get people to come there. So hey, Mom, come on down. Dad, come on down. Have a couple of beers on us. Bring the kids. We'll leave them someplace to play. Why? Because they want to make you a loyal customer. Anyway. Let's see. This is from Clugube 3686. Where are all the workers going to come from to staff all these stores, restaurants, and gas stations? 1,000 people a day move to the state of Florida. Okay. About 2% of those move to the villages. The rest move throughout the state. Wildwood, there is literally thousands of homes and apartments planned or under construction for this growing community. People are going to move here. They're going to move where the work is. Mark Edwards, 5512 says, where do they get all the palm trees that they plant along the roads? Must be hundreds. Yep. There are literally palm tree farms. There's actually some in the southern part of Sumter County. These nursery farms are not uncommon. Let's see. Naperville Real Estate Life says, I would not buying a courtyard villa, but nervous about all my neighbors being renters. Are these models being bought up by investors? So yes, there are some. Again, I live in a courtyard villa right now. We have a couple of rental properties. I'd say probably 30% are rentals. Most of them are long-term. Some of our best friends were supposed to go over there tonight and play samba all evening with them after dinner. They've been renting here for several years, and they just signed another 2-year lease. And there's nothing wrong with the renters. Renters, they're a necessary market, I think. And I have no problem with renters, long-term renters. Short-term renters, these people that are turning them into Airbnbs, I got a real problem with that. I really do. It really is disruptive to the neighborhood. 2 years ago, I met with one of the realtor groups out of Lake County. They were looking to see if they wanted to endorse me as a candidate and make a contribution to my campaign. When they asked me about vacation rentals, they weren't happy with my answer. Because I said, no, they don't belong in residential communities. There are communities like down in around Orlando that are all vacation homes. Good for them. That's fine. But in a community like the Villages, no, they don't belong here. Not these short-term rentals. They're the hotels. And don't even get me started about whether they're paying the appropriate sales tax or income tax. Some of them, no. I find it doubtful. But most of our community here where I live, in the villas that I live in, I'd say a third or a little bit more, maybe 40% are here full time, and owners. We have a number of long-term renters. We have a lot of snowbirds. And, again, we unfortunately have a couple of short-term rentals that if we could figure out some way to get rid of them, we would, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh, Puto Ludo. Good comment. We'll let it go and see what happens. Let's see. Mike O says, Don, any update on when Four Rivers is going to open in Middleton? So, based on what Fred said, he was talking about when school opens up next year, that the Victory Bar or the Victory restaurant, we won't use the word bar, will probably be opening. I would assume many of the others around there also. They're making huge progress in downtown Middleton. It is going crazy in there with construction. So, very, late summer or early fall, definitely. Let's see. Mark P says, with all the construction in non-villages of Wildwood, what plans are there to add additional Sumter fire and rescue stations, and how will that affect me as a villager and Wildwood resident? Okay, so Wildwood doesn't have a fire department. It's all Sumter County. We are looking at long-term. It's in the plans for building another fire station. Just because of the change in population. And so, yes, that's going to happen. Will it impact you if you live in the villages? No. It has no effect on you whatsoever. With the advent of the Villages Public Safety Dependent District, Villages Public Safety Department Dependent District, whatever they call it, that it takes care of all the funding of the fire protection within the boundaries of the villages that's been established, and Sumter County takes care of it for that on the outside. The question becomes, funding it. Funding it is going to be it's going to be a challenge. That's actually one of the topics that's coming up in this Tuesday evening's county workshop that's happening at the Gold Dome building, the villages public. The Sumter County Villages, I don't remember what it's called. It's the building over there with the library. We're having a county workshop with all the county commissioners, and we will be talking about the fire department and funding it and how to go forward. Mike O says, just checking, is a secret promise a done deal? Somebody told me that it still had to be approved by Leesburg or Lake County. It's a done deal. My impression, secret promise was the ultimate prize. The section of land that they bought that used to be part of the old spray ponds, that's now the Village of Newell, Dabney, and Lake Denham, was a strategic move. It whetted the appetites of the city of Leesburg for, look at all the tax money we're getting. By the time that all the houses sell and move in, they're going to see like an 80% increase in their property tax rolls just because of those 3,300 homes. So obviously they're going to like that because it costs them very little, because the CDD does a lot of stuff that the cities normally would do. But that kind of greased the skids, if you will, for Secret Promise, because that's a much larger section of land, a lot more going to happen there. So whether I'm right or wrong, it does seem like it was a good strategic move, and it did work. And yes, Secret Promise is a done deal. Um, all right. Jerry says, I would love to live in Secret Promise, but the Lake County taxes would be a bit much. Yep. Sumter County has the lowest non-coastal property tax rate in the state. I believe there's two other counties that have a lower tax rate for property tax. However, they make it up in tourism taxes and tourism dollars. So, when COVID hit and tourism dropped off, they suffered. Because our tax rate was based on property values, Sumter County didn't suffer financially because of COVID, other than some additional costs that, for face masks and hand cleaner and stuff like that. But it did not impact our tax revenues tremendously. Okay, where are we at? We got about 5 more minutes, and we're going to call it a day. Let's see. Where do we got here? Palm trees. How about showing the people how bad the executive and championship courses are in the older areas? We putting on dirt, and the fairs are like cow pastures. Okay, that's 2920 Ranger. Yeah, so we talked about the golf courses already. Enough said there. Let's see. Ronald Mazzadina 29 says, do the villages need to get building permits? I have never seen them at any of the movie theaters, the apartments, or Blondies. Yes. Everybody gets to pull building permits. It's a requirement. The reason you don't see them is because they don't put them out in a job box. There's a project manager that's in charge of that job, and he is the one that has to maintain the permits. I know this for a fact because before I retired, I was a construction project manager, and I routinely kept my permits in a binder on my desk. Mark Edwards 5512 says, why not just add bulkhead around the island? Seems like a simple solution. It seems like it, but there's more to it than just dropping a bulkhead. The bulkhead is a wall. I mean, you could do the corrugated metal bulkhead, but there's structural needs that have to go along with that. You don't just set up a wall in the water. This whole thing with the Morse Island revetment, or whatever the heck the name of the island is, I don't think it's called Morse Island actually. That's been on the agenda for the last, let's see, when did it come up when I was on Project Wide? About 2015, so 8 or 9 years. There's nothing wrong with the island, there's nothing wrong with the bridge. It's not sinking. There never has been anything wrong with the bridge. It's about erosion on the island. And, Mother Nature just proved that no matter how smart man thinks they are, she's even smarter. And that's what's happening. We get some erosion. Let's see. Victoria Chanel says, is it better economically to have a pool put in while building your home or after it's built? It's always more economical to do it on the initial build. You're not having to lay down turf and then rip it out. Same thing with all the rest of the landscaping. So there's that aspect. It's also harder to get in there when they build a pool with a house. The shell is generally shot before the foundation is poured, and it moves along very quickly. Doing it afterwards, you have issues with accessibility and things like that. All right. Fran Ladsky, 6787, said, but isn't T&D pools in bed with the villages? and their pools have a huge markup compared to other pool companies? No. So yes, T&D is a huge contractor with the villages. I know Terry Yoder, the owner of T&D, personally. I spoke with him on the phone earlier this week. And what the heck is going on behind me? Let's close that garbage. Sorry. Anyway, Terry Yoder is, I've known him for a couple of years now. I spoke with him at length earlier this week. They build all the pools in new construction. They built my pool. I have a courtyard villa. They don't come with pools. Well, I've seen one that came with a pool. But I had mine built afterwards. I got 9 different prices from 9 different contractors. My experience was, or my initial impression was T&D is more expensive. But I did my due diligence. And after looking at all the costs and what was included and what wasn't included, T&D turned out to be about $1,200 cheaper than anybody else. And I didn't have to play project manager when I got home with my pool after being a project manager all day long on a construction site at the time because I was still working. They took care, where I live, we don't have natural gas, so they put a 200-gallon gas tank in the ground in my front yard. They filled it, they piped it, everything was done. They put up the fence, all the landscaping, everything was taken care of. It was all one price, and there was no extras that I had to worry about. And when it was done, when they said it's done, it was done. Everything was taken care of. So, let's see. Jerry Harris says, I live coastal now in Venice, but Lake County is higher. Wouldn't surprise me. Coastal communities generally, they rely more on revenue from tourism taxes and sales taxes than they do on property values. And, so their taxes are going to be less. I don't know the finances, I guess, if you will, of Lake County, and it's not my place to try and second guess them on their tax rate. I know that I wouldn't appreciate it if one of the county commissioners in Lake County started questioning Sumter County's processes for determining our tax rate and our budget. I respect them for what they do. They have a different situation to deal with than what Sumter County does. So, wow. So we are right at 4:30. So I think this is a good place to stop. Is there any more questions before we jump out of here? I appreciate everybody stopping in and watching the video and the premiere, and and sticking around for the live chat afterwards. We'll do this again next week. The next video is coming out. What is it? April 7th. Yes, I actually know the date it's coming out. There is a good reason for it. April 7th will be 10 years that I have been living in the villages. We closed April 7th and moved in the same day. And we were like the Beverly Hillbillies. We only lived about an hour from here, and we drove up to our closing with the back end of my truck loaded up and a trailer right behind us. And after we finished closing, we drove to the house and started unloading. So April 7th is 10 years, and the topic is going to be 10 years in the villages and 10 things I don't like about it. So it should be interesting. So that's all I have. I actually I was hoping my dogs would come in. I'd show you my dogs. I had a dog cam set up. Let me pop it up real quick, and you'll see there's the dog bed. And I was hoping they would come in and show themselves, but they're out in the hallway snoring away. Anyway, thank you all, everybody, for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy answering your questions. If you have questions that you want answered, drop me an email at live@goldwingnut.com or don@goldwingnut.com or info@goldwingnut.com. and I will try and answer them on the next broadcast, if not right away. Thank you all. Oh, well, one more. Are most pools fiberglass or concrete? Concrete. There are a few fiberglass pools here in the villages that I've seen go in, but pretty much I'd say 95-98% of them are concrete pools. And they use shotcrete. They don't use gunite. The difference between shotcrete and gunite, from my understanding, is shotcrete is mixed at the cement plant, and then it's pumped through the nozzle as a slurry. Gunite is a dry, and it's the mix is controlled by the nozzleman. So Quikrete is controlled by, or shotcrete is controlled by the cement plant, which in my opinion is a better process. It's better quality control. Gunite is great though if you live in a remote area where it's too far or takes too long to get a cement truck there. Cement only has a short, or concrete has a very short life once it's in the truck and mixed in the truck. They can only turn that drum so many times before they have to scrap the load. All right. Again, thank you all for joining me. Look for some good things in life and enjoy the positive aspects of where you live. Don't let the naysayers get you down. But again, I'm Don Wiley. Thank you all. Take care. All right.